design of experiments helps you obtain fewer results with, sorry, superior results with fewer experiments. With less number of experiments, we get better results. So next we'll do a small demonstration of a designed experiment. So how do we do a designed experiment? So we'll use software. So that was the problem in the Fisher era. The analysis was very complicated. Analysis of variance was used by Fisher. But for a long time, people were not able to follow what Fisher is doing. Fisher will say in his paper, from one line, he'll jump to another line, and people are not able to follow how he got that step. How did you do that step? So because of that, DOE was not used by many people for a long time. So now, of course, software is available. So the best software is Design Expert, available from www.statis.com. Then we have a general purpose statistical software, Minitab. So this was developed by the NIST, at the United States government laboratories, statistical laboratories. Then they sold it to a private company, and now it is available in the market. So this is a general purpose statistical software which can be used for any statistical analysis. So those who are okay, all of you have got quality management. So in that you will learn control charts and all. So all that is available in Minitab. Then RCommander plugin.doe. This is a plugin for R. So R is again a very powerful software. So Design Expert. So now it has reached a version 13 or 14. So at that time, single user license was around $1,000 when I prepared that slide. So Minitab 17, now I think it has reached 19. At that time, it was costing around 94,000. So again, around same thing. But for experiment design, this is not that good. You have to, it is not so user-friendly, Minitab. But you can do a lot of other things, including say, principal component analysis or any type of regression can be done in this. Those things are limited in Design Expert. RCommander.doe is the most powerful of the software, but most unfriendly. Okay, so you can. The good thing is it is free. It is open source and free. So all statisticians who develop software or who try out new algorithms and all, they usually do this in R. And usually they publish that code along with their paper. So because of that, the latest techniques, if you want, you have to use R. Some new tools, new algorithms they develop. So everything is available on, but you have to type. It's not GUI based. So even though some people have developed external GUIs for that. So basically, if you know the code, it is very powerful. Graphics and all are very beautiful. If you can try all types of graphs and all, because it is developed by statisticians for all statistical purpose, not only design of experiment. Anything is possible in R. Okay, so now we'll do a small demonstration. Okay, we may not have time to complete it, so I'll just start the introduction. So I used to do several demonstrations, but for okay, online version, these are the ones which I. So this PHET, if you search, you can get this. There are a number of simulations, physics simulations. So this simulates the collision between two bodies. Okay. So we have two bodies. They have an initial velocity, and you can vary these variables. You can adjust the mass of each body. You can adjust. You can adjust the velocities. More data. So position, where its starting position, its velocity we can adjust. And then when you press the button, so I can increase the mass, I can give, okay, 0.123 kg. 3. Okay, so this is bigger. So what happens if a body is so goes and hits a big body? So it is just like a bike going and hitting a bus. What will happen? Bus will hardly move. Okay, so reduce it to 0.5. Okay, so I go simulation. So the bike will go back so much. Bus will, nothing will happen. So these velocities you can adjust, and we have to have some plan to identify. So what is the first step in any experiment? I think, okay, I have put up one slide, a set of slides there. Do that. Planning experiments. So first step is identify what is the response variable. Then analyze the measurement system, whether your measurement system is capable of determining the response variable. So if measurement variability is more, then we cannot really identify the factors. Then what are the factors which affect the system? So this you have to do a brainstorming and select all possible factors. Then we have to choose the experimental design. So that depends on the aim of the experiment at that stage of experimentation. So screening design or rough optimization or final optimization, depending on that, you have to select the appropriate design, then carry out the experiment and analyze the results. And after that, finally, you do a confirmation run, because what we are doing is many times we will not have done that combination at all. So we may have chosen some factors and fractional factorial, and that combination we may not have done. That optimum which you have got may not have been tried at all. So you have to do a confirmation experiment. So what is the response variable? So that is the first step. For example, you want to, how easy it is to open a door. So the biggest difficulty is to get a response variable. How will you measure that? So here we have a door force, the opening force being measured, something like that. So the variable of interest is the response variable. So this is the dependent variable. So some cases it is easy, but many cases it is very difficult. So last year I had some research scholars from architecture engineering. So they want to test the effect of some paint on comfort in the room. So it is very difficult because you can paint one room, but then it is the comfort depends on weather conditions, if it is a location of the building. So in one building itself, one room may be getting sun, other room may not be getting sun. At what time you are going, so many things will affect your experiment. So this is sometimes very difficult, what identifying what is the response variable. Then determine target. So how much of a result you have to measure, that you have to identify. Then desired detectable limit. So what is the smallest effect that you would like to detect? Then analyze measurement system. So in the lab next cycle, we have an experiment. There I'll explain how measurement system analysis is done. So we use the theory of control charts also, which you will learn in your quality management course. So a repeatable study, R&R study is done too. That is also called a measurement system analysis to determine measurement variability. So if it is less than, we have to decide that a number of trials can be calculated based on this. Then what are the factors? So identify using a cause and effect diagram or doing a brainstorming. So what are the independent variables? A cause and effect diagram like this is useful. So we divide into numeric factors and categoric factors. Categoric factors are not continuous. Like for example, cutting tool. So if you have two makes of cutting tools, Vidya and Sandvik, they are categoric factors. Whereas if you say the hardness of the cutting tool, then that becomes a numeric factor. You can measure it. There is an order in that number. Whereas category factors, the order has no meaning. So generally numeric is better. So you always try to convert categoric into numeric factors. So like Box used to say, block what you can, randomize what you can't. So if you can control your factor, block it. So blocking means you control that noise factor, and those factors you cannot control, that you have to depend on randomization. So blocking. Okay, another example is shown here. So if you want to test the two varieties of crops, A and B, how will you plant? So this is the land available which is near a river. Suppose you plant all A near the river and all B away from the river, and finally if you get A is having better yield, then we cannot identify whether the yield in A is better because of the fertile land near the river or because variety A is better. So how can you solve that problem? So you balance the effects by dividing the land into blocks. So in block 1, land near the river, plant both varieties of A and B, plant both varieties A and B, and then block 2 also plant both varieties A and B in random fashion, so you can compare the yield in block 1 and you can compare the yield in block 2. So noise factors are balanced. Then randomization to prevent bias with uncontrollable factors. We carry out experiments in random order. So Murphy's law, you know what is Murphy's law? So if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So that is Murphy's law. So we have to be careful in our experimentation. So we have to assume that it will go wrong and plan for those eventualities. So carry out the experiment in random order. Then we have to choose the experimental design. So this is a screenshot from Design Expert. So don't start with a big experiment. Try small experiments, small number of runs. Don't repeat unnecessarily. And later, that's what 25% of the experimental effort and budget should be investigated in the first design. Box suggests that. So stage by stage experimentation is preferred. So screening, rough optimization, final optimization, that is the order in which we go. So first stage, screening design to identify the important factors. So usually if it is more than 3 factors only, you go for a screening design. And detailed experiment is done later. So that effort is not wasted. So recommended design is fractional factorial design. So each factor is at 2 levels only. So in screening design, we have each factor at 2 levels. Then second stage is rough optimization. So here only the significant factors are considered. So other factors, we leave it at the easier or cheaper levels. So the design is factorial designs. All possible combinations are tried out. But the noise factors, I mean the insignificant factors, we are not studying. Then we add some center points to test curvature. So we can compute the interactions in this case, whereas in the screening design, many times we cannot determine the interactions. And third stage is final optimization. We go for a central composite design. So where we have points even outside the original zone. So here, this is a rotatable points are selected. So central composite design, each factor at 5 levels. So second degree models can be fitted. So with 2 points, we can fit only a straight line. With 3 points, we can fit slight curvature, slightly complex functions. And with the 5 levels, we can have any second degree polynomial can be fitted. So Taguchi method is another type of design, which sometimes, okay, I'm not taking this here. So then you do the experiment. So experiment has to be carried out in random run order. Watch out for unexpected events, changes in conditions. Record everything in a notebook or look in a camera. Nowadays that is easy. You can record everything in a camera. Then analyze the results using statistical software like Design Expert. Check all the graphs. Okay. Finally, you do a confirmation run. And if okay, celebrate. Otherwise, we need to go back. Okay, so with that, we complete our this collision lab will use. So what is the first step in planning an experiment? So same like uncertainty collision. What is the response variable? So we have to decide what is the response variable. So collision of two balls. So you have two balls. So what are the factors? Okay. So one ball goes and hits. So ball one has some velocity with which it goes and hits. Okay, we call it this the left ball and this is the right one. The ball goes and hits the right ball, and so what will happen? So the first ball will slow down, second ball will start moving. Okay, so it depends also on the elastic properties of the interface. So what is the response variable? So here we can think of two response variables. One is final velocity of the left ball and then final velocity of the right ball. Okay. Then what are the factors? What happened? Okay. So factors we can divide into controllable factors and noise factors. So we use a cause and effect diagram to brainstorm and make out a list of all the factors. So the controllable factors are the mass of the left ball, mass of the right ball, then the position, initial position of the left ball, the initial position of the right ball, then initial velocity of the left ball. And in order to simplify this experiment, I take the initial velocity of the right ball as 0. Actually, it can be also be incorporated, but then number of factors goes on increasing, becomes more difficult. Okay, I mean we need more runs, so it takes more time also. Then the elastic coefficient of restitution. Okay, I think you have studied in engineering mechanics all this in your +2 itself, basic theory. I think in JEE and all there are a lot of questions on this collision problem. So the concepts of this collision problem are very important. The noise factors here actually we don't have much of a noise factor because we are doing a simulation. So the constraints. So the velocity on the left should be less than velocity of the right, because if both are moving in the same velocity towards the right, then the left ball will never hit the right ball. Only if the left ball has a velocity higher than the right ball, then only the hitting will happen. So, okay, this is actually should be interpreted as should not be less than velocity of the right. Velocity of the left should, I think I should put it greater, should be greater than velocity of the right ball. Sorry, this is, okay, it should be greater than. You know, I think it's, okay, it depends on how you read the sentence. Okay, so that is the second step, identifying all the factors. Then we have to decide the levels for each factor. So mass of the left and the unit is in kilogram. So we have to decide what should be the mass, the low level and high level. So already we have learned. What happens if you choose very close levels, then tight control of factors will lead to lack of response. So we should, this is an important decision, but which that cannot be obtained by statistics, only your knowledge of the subject. So your understanding of the situation, well, that only can help you decide these levels. So mass of left, low, let us keep 1, high, let us keep 3 kg. Mass of right, low, let us keep 1, high, again, same 3 kg. Then position of the left ball can be -1 or -0.5. Position of the right can be 0.5 or 1. So here again, there are constraints. This cannot be minus, means sometimes then this will not, the left ball will go to the right and right ball will go to the left. So there won't be collision happening. So there are some constraints in the values which you can take. Then initial velocity of left ball, low value let us take as 1, right, high value let us take as 3. Then coefficient of restitution, you can take, can vary from 0 to 1. Since in a screening experiment, we choose only 2 levels. So we choose, and the, okay, 0 and 1 is also possible. You can take 0.5 and 1. So I have arbitrarily chosen. If you have a doubt, this is not enough, we may have to do additional experiments later. If you want to cover 0 to 0.5 or that range you want to cover, you'll have to do additional experiments later. Okay, so now I use Design Expert software. Okay, so data entry sheet. Okay, view column info sheet. So this is the table where we start the same table. Here there is one more column, standard deviation. So if you have some idea of the variability in the each factor, that can also be used to determine the number of trials required. So, okay, since this is only an introductory chapter, we're not going to the details. So there is a formula to connect, to predict the number of trials required based on this standard deviation. So that's why it is there. So otherwise, this is mass of the left ball, mass of the right ball, position of the left ball, position of the right ball. U is initial velocity, U of initial velocity of left ball. E is the elasticity. VL, V is final velocity of left ball, final velocity of left ball. These two are the responses. So the levels 1, 3, 1, 3, -1, -0.5, 0.51, 1, 3, 0.51 that we have discussed earlier. So now, so we have to file, if I say new design, use previous defined, so yes. So 2-level factorial design, we can take a so just to show the power of DOE, I am using a 1/8 fractional factorial. You can choose any tab, but this is actually a little dangerous. But since of course we are doing only a simulation, doesn't matter. So recommended is to use the green boxes. So anyway, I'll choose this 8 runs. So this is only 8 runs. We can study 6 factors. So just to show the power of design experiments, I am choosing this design. Okay, so the design expert has generated the design. This is the experimental design, the plan of each run. So here, so this gives a run order. What is run order? The order in which you run the experiment, in which you do the experiment. Okay. So factors. So that means first I have to do left ball 3 kg, right ball 1 kg, position of the left ball -1, position of the right plus 0.5, then elasticity 1. No, this is initial velocity of the left ball 3, elasticity 1. Okay, and then we measure, we do the experiment and determine the responses, and then we have to do for all these combinations. So we let us do one by one. just took a screenshot. So all of you, I think if you can take a screenshot and keep so that you can follow the experiments. So now we have to do the experiment. So what is that? Okay. This will keep it to the side. So this now we'll demonstrate this simulation. So first trial is mass is 3 kg. So I can enter 3 kg, but in order to simulate some random variation, I'll enter say 2.98 kg. Then right ball 1 kg. So just to show some random variation, I'll put 1.05. Then position of the left is -1, already -1. Then position of the right is plus 0.5. 0.5. Then velocity of the left, initial velocity of the left ball is 1. Okay. Then, okay, initial velocity of the right ball, I'm keeping 0 always, keeping it constant. Actually, we can, if you want, we can adjust it. Then we have to, number of variables will increase. So 6, this many trials may not be enough. Then elasticity, you can keep 100%. Okay. Okay. So now we have set the values. Let us do the experiment. Okay. So now we can enter the response in the table. 0.48 and 1.48. 0.48 and 1.48. Okay, so return the balls. So next run it is 1, 1. So this is 1.02. And this may be a good 0.98. Then -1, 1. So this is minus 0.95. This is -1. 1. Okay, so 1.1. Just for random variation, I'm adding. Ideally, the nominal value is -1 and +1. Then initial velocity 3. So okay, 3 plus, okay, maximum is 3, so I can make it 2.96. Final velocity is assumed to be 0, always 0. Then elasticity should be 1. Okay, it is remaining 1. So let us run. Okay, so result is initial velocity and the final velocity of left ball is 0.06, 0.06, 3.02. Okay, so I have done the second run 0.06, 3.02. The third is 3.1 minus 0.5 plus 0.5, 3.5. So 2.99, then 3, 1, 1.05. Position is 3, 1, minus 0.5 plus 0.5. Minus 0.48, 0.47, minus 0.5 plus 0.5, then 3 and 0.5. 3 I can't move more than 3. Maybe I should change the level slightly. 2.95. The elasticity 0.5. So, okay, in order to have randomization, I'll keep it 0.55. Okay, so now let us do the experiment. So the result is 1.76 and 1.76 and 3.38. Is remaining transparent 1.76 and 3.38. Okay. So next is 1 minus 0.5 1.5. So 1, I'll put 1.02. 1.02 and then 1.02. Okay. 0.95 in position minus 0.5 plus 1. 0.55 plus 1.01, then velocity 1 and velocity 0.98. Final velocity remaining same. Then elasticity is 0.5. We prefer 0.45. Okay, so let us do the experiment. So 0.29, 0.74. So I have to enter that in the software. Save and reopen. Two 2021 some problem it is not disappearing. Okay. So now next experiment is once again it is getting transparent. I don't know. Okay, we have to enter this data, that is 1 and 0.29 and 0.74. 0.29 and 0.74. Okay, close this. Okay, so the next is 3.3. So 2.95. This is 2.98. 2.98. 2.95. 2.9. Then position left is -1 plus 1. 1.05, 0.95. Then velocity initial is 1.05. The elasticity is 0.5. 0.55. Okay, let's do the experiment. So 0.23 and 0.81. 0.23 and 0.81. Then we have 3, 3, minus 0.5, 1. So 2.98, 2.95, sorry, 2.98, 2.99, then minus 0.5, 1, minus 0.48, 1.02, and 3, 1, 3.02. So it should not be more than, so I can make it only 2.97, 3, and elasticity is 1. So maybe I'll put 0.95. So answer is 0.07, 2.89. Point 0.07, 2.89. 0.07, 2.89. Okay, so now 2 more runs are remaining. So 7th run is 1, 3. So 1.0. Okay, to return the balls first. 1.05, 3 to 0.96. Position is minus 1.5, minus 1.1, 0.51. Initial velocity is 3, 2.96. Final initial velocity of the right ball, we always keep 0. Velocity, let us keep okay, 0.5 is required, so I'll keep 0.55. Let us do the experiment. So now I have to enter. So result minus 0.43, 1.20. Minus 0.43, 1.2. Okay, next is 1, 3, minus 0.5 plus 0.5. So return balls 0.97 and 2.99, 1, 3, minus 1. So, sorry, 1, 3, minus 0.5 plus 0.5. Minus 0.6 plus 0.56. Just for random distribution. Then velocity initial velocity is 1, so 1.03. This initial velocity of right ball will keep always 0. Elasticity 1, I will keep 0.95. Let's do the experiment. So now the result is minus 0.49 plus 0.49. Minus 0.49 plus 0.49. Okay, so we have completed the experiment. Now software will help us do the analysis. So let us try for velocity of the right ball. So we have to identify the fx. No terms are selected. 1, 2, 3. So okay, we'll keep these 3 terms. The most important, that is screening. So in screening design, we identify these 3 as most significant. We can verify it through analysis of variance. So unfortunately, A, B is not really significant, but I can let it remain there. E is only significant. So, okay, it depends on, because we are choosing randomly and there's random variation. It's not, yeah, 0.7 is very close to 0.5 because only 8 trials are there. It is very difficult to identify everything in just 8 runs. But anyway, it will give reasonable results, A, B, E. So we analyze normal plot of results, predictable, run out any mistakes are there can be identified in this. Results versus, one outlier is there. That is the problem. Okay, we'll neglect that just to, since time is limited. So now we have determined a model and also variance. There's the mathematical equations are there to predict the response. So velocity of the right ball equal to 1.75 plus 0.39 A minus 0.4 into B plus 0.7 into E. So we can do a point prediction. We can, so that is the confirmation experiment. So if you are satisfied with the model obtained, we do final stages, a confirmation experiment. So we need to do more steps we are not done all this, just to demonstrate and to save time and directly going to the final one. I choose some values. So A, 2, 1, 3. Okay, optimum. Okay, so what is, which will give highest velocity for optimization? Numerical. So I want goal right velocity to be maximum. Okay, so solutions. So left ball 2.98, right ball mass 1, minus 0.77, 0.9. Anyway, there are some small issues in this. Anyway, we'll demonstrate this. So the solution, let us verify. And what is the predicted value for velocity of right is 3.39. Let us see what we get. So left mass is 2.98. So I'll put to show variability 2.99. Then right is 1, 2.98. Sorry, I have to turn the pulse. 2.98. 0.99. Position is minus 0.77. Minus 0.77. Position of the left one. Right one is 0.99. 0.99. Then velocity of the left is 2.98. Put 2.95. Velocity of the right, initial velocity is 0. Then 0.76 is recommended. I'll choose 0.75. Just run the simulation. The solution is right velocity is 3.88. What did we get by the model? 3.39. Okay, it is not exact because of so much of random variation and number of trials is very much less. So, but I showed you one method, it will give some results, at least 3.39 is close to 3.88. How much difference is there? 0.5. So that is maybe 15-20% difference is there. So of course, this if you can get more better predictions with much more sophisticated models with more trial setups. But in most time in practice, we are not really interested in an exact solution. We want approximately how much within reasonable variation. So that's why measurement uncertainty comes into the picture. So within the reasonable variability, it is enough. We don't need to know exact answer. And of course, all these properties are all uncertainties. So we can never get the exact. So this is good enough. Okay. So with that, so we have seen, we have demonstrated kind of experiments. So I showed you how we did a simple, with just 8 runs, we studied the effect of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 factors and predicted to a reasonable extent. So how much is the prediction is, okay, we can go do more sophisticated analysis and all. I'll skip. So I'll just say this. So I don't know. So you can also download this software, Design Expert, from that website. 45-day trial version you can download. And this physics simulation also you can load, or you can do actual experiments. So many, in the design experiments course, I ask each student to do an experiment, different experiments like